When a monitoring spirit doesn't know what you have going on, they don't know what to attack. And the reason why I say this is because in Nehemiah, right, he was trying to rebuild the city. And so while he was rebuilding the city, everything was going fine. Everything was going smoothly. But the moment his enemies heard that he was trying to rebuild the city, they tried to hinder it, right? So sometimes a monitoring spirit will ask, what are you up to? Where are you going? What are your plans? And the reason why they ask this is because they need as much information as possible so they know what to attack.
Girls, okay, so I am back with another video, and today we're talking about monitoring spirits. And I had been seeing a few like TikToks and videos and things on the topic, but I never had a word for it until then. So we've all dealt with this in some way, shape, or form. And I am going to show, as usual, a couple of TikToks, and then I'm going to come back at the end with my 2 cents and my own experience, and then we can gather in the comments and talk about it.
So if you find that whenever you tell someone your plans or whenever you tell people your plans, all of a sudden it falls through, or if you find that whenever you tell people or you give people an update of your life and all of a sudden it becomes chaotic, that might be a monitoring spirit.
There's a lot of monitoring spirits watching your page right now. Don't worry about it. Because the thing about the monitoring spirits that are watching you and watching what you're doing, whatever access they had to you, they don't have to you anymore. And what they're realizing is, dang, no matter what happens, this person's still gonna persevere. They're still gonna make it to their next level. You know what I mean? And what these monitoring spirits are doing in this season of transition as we go into a new place, what they're realizing is no weapons formed against you is really gonna prosper. They're realizing no matter what they do, no matter how they talk down, no matter how much they're watching because they want to see you fail. And what's happening is they're being forced to watch you succeed. Everything that they're doing to see if you're going to fail is not working. So now they're just stuck they're so invested in your story that they got to see how it's going to end now. Let them monitor. It hasn't stopped your growth. It hasn't stopped your progress. It hasn't stopped your belief or your validation. You've outgrown the monitoring spirit. They're not going to do anything but watch, because what else can they do? They've thrown every shot they could. Let them watch you, because I'm telling you, he going to get his glory one way or another. And the one thing I love seeing more than anything is the people that told me I was going to fail, they are forced to watch me rise and succeed. And that's what's happening. That's it. That's the post.
Hey y'all, here are 5 signs that someone have a monitoring spirit attached to them. Number 1, you feel like cutting your tongue off after you tell them your business. That's because God is trying to tell you you shouldn't have told them that in the first place. Number 2, you find yourself telling them everything about you. It's not like you mean to, but it's like you're under a trance and everything just starts spilling out of you. Number 3, your premature plans fail after you tell them what you're up to or what's going on in your life. Number 4, when something bad happens, they always hit up your phone at the right time to check on you. But really, it's because they sent the bad thing your way and they're just calling or texting to see if what they sent your way has succeeded. Number 5, you see them in your dream just staring at you, like the person just staring at you and not saying anything to you. That is God showing you that that person is monitoring you in the natural, so you better watch out. Stop oversharing with that person and stay prayed up.
Monitoring spirits. What are monitoring spirits? These are the people that sit back and watch everything that you do and pray on your downfall. These are the people that don't miss a story, watch everything you post on your stories. But anything you post, they won't interact with it. They won't like it. And I'm here to tell you, you're not tripping. Like I say, I used to be on the other side, so whenever I hear people say stuff like, this person watching me, or I be thinking, it ain't that big of a deal. It ain't that deep. You get what I'm saying? You're not tripping. You got people sitting back praying on your downfall. That could be a friend, that could be a distant friend, that could be a coworker. You get what I'm saying? And you'll know if it's somebody that you know in real life, somebody that you come with contact with. Whenever you're discussing the things that's going on in your life, when you bring up something good, you can kind of see the disappointment. But you got to pay attention. You know, it's that split second before they got to play it fake, because they're going to show their true intentions the second it slip off your tongue. When you say something that ain't really going your way, you can kind of see the excitement in their face. You get what I'm saying? And they'll want to talk about it more and more and more and provide fake comfort. You get what I'm saying? But whenever something's going good, they don't want to really talk about it. Understand me? But most of the time, it's the people that you know in real life that watch you over the internet but don't interact with nothing that you do. These are monitoring spirits. These are people that sit back praying on your downfall. That's why you got to keep your moves to yourself. You can't announce everything to everybody, because everybody don't want to see you do good. Understand me? People got spirits to them. Everybody got a spirit to them, whether it be a good or a bad one. And don't think that it ain't no spiritual warfare going on through this here internet, because it is. That's why you got to protect your peace. You know? How do I go about monitoring spirits? I done blocked a few people. Oh yeah, I done blocked them. And some people, I unfollow them. Put the heat on. You know, because you know they're watching. I'll turn the heat up on their ass, excuse my French. But see if they want to unfollow back. You know, if they want to, what's the word? What's what I'm looking for? They want to cast themselves out. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. But then I know what's going on. That gives me more reassurance of what's going on. It's like, all right, bet, I see what I'm up against. But I like to say this too. You can't be a participant. You got to be an inspector. You get what I'm saying? Do what you will with it. Block them, unfollow them, whatever the case may be. But don't be announcing your moves around these people, because these people don't want to see you do good. They want to see you fail. They get enjoyment out of that. Understand, these are low vibrational people. So they seek enjoyment out of seeing people fail. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, monitoring spirits, protect yourself and protect your peace. As within, so without.
This is the #1 clue that will tell you that someone is just a monitoring spirit and is not your friend. If you have discernment, you get the sense that they are always here to inspect, not to connect. They always want to inspect. They always want to know what's going on with you, always digging for information, but they don't want to connect. You just don't feel that genuine connection. And oftentimes they won't reveal anything significant about themselves. They will just reveal shallow things. That's when you know it's a monitoring spirit. The Bible talks about discerning of spirits because it's very important. Now, some people are just nosy and they're not necessarily a monitoring spirit. Use discernment to know if the Holy Spirit is telling you to not share some information. Do not share it. Because some people, even if they don't have bad intentions, the enemy can still use them. So it's not about being paranoid, but it's about listening to the Holy Spirit. And don't be so quick to volunteer information. And ask God to give you more wisdom, because we always need more wisdom. If this resonated, type amen. Follow for more.
Ways to identify monitoring spirits. 1. Monitoring spirits are not strangers. They're people you know. These spirits do not like you. They are driven by jealousy and envy. They act concerned, but they don't care about you. They do not have your best interest at heart. They want to know about you, but not care about you. They don't monitor to hear the good news. They're seeking out to hear the bad news. Monitoring spirits are very hot and cold. They're speaking one day, the next day they're not. Pay attention to what these spirits do, not what these spirits say. These spirits do not like, comment, share anything that you post on social media. and they will not unfriend you. And when you unfriend them, they will ask you why. They ask questions that make you feel uncomfortable. Girl, You guys, stay alert, stay vigilant, because the enemy is out to kill, steal, and destroy everything that God has put in place to bless you. The same way that God has his angels dispatched to protect us, Satan has his angels dispatched to harm us. I encourage you to get closer to God and grow your discernment, because we're living in a time where there are snakes slithering all around us. And we, as the people of God, need to know and identify what's of him and what's not.
Monitoring spirits are a real thing. That's not just a trend. People who like you the least will watch you the most. They are on the front line. They're the first ones trying to figure out what's going on with you. They can't wait to rejoice at your pain. They cannot wait to make any downfall of yours a kiki. They can't wait to clap while you cry. All that tells you is that they need healing and they are still hurting. That should not affect you. Okay, I posted that my door got kicked in at 2 a.m. while me and my 8-year-old daughter was in here, and I got a message like this. All that lets me know is this person watches me like a hawk in the sky. They are the first to figure out what's going on with me. It ain't even been a whole 3 days. Okay, it also lets me know that they're still hurting. And even the people who don't like me and rejoice at my pain, at my downfall, those people, I want them to heal too. I want you to schedule a session with the lady. I want you to get the deliverance and the healing and the restoration that already has your name on it. Go get you some healing. I'm not even being funny right now. Please, go get you some healing quickly.
Oh, I see why people be deleting Instagram now. I've seen many videos on here when people say that monitoring spirits are definitely their followers because they not getting like the interaction, but the stuff is not matching up with the ratio when it comes to the followers and the likes. There's no reason for me to have over 2,000 followers but getting 89 likes. And I know that y'all seen it because the analytics, whenever I go to it, it shows the impression numbers. So it is showing that y'all seeing it. But y'all not interacting? What's really going on? You can't just like the photo. You can't just like the reel. You can't comment. You just gonna see it and stroll. It's cool. It's all good. I might as well just go ahead and delete this Instagram. I already got another one that I have, and that one's for my Malcolm in the City one. And so that's the one I really have fun on. But to be honest, I think I'm about to keep that one and the other one can go. Like my first one, that's the one I had since middle school. So, you know, the people that you went to middle school, high school, the people that you used to work with over the past, like what, how long has it been since I've been in middle school? I don't know. But monitoring spirits is a thing. And, you know, when people were saying it at first, I was like, But I really didn't pay attention to it. But I see what they're saying now.
Okay, y'all, so this topic hit me like a ton of bricks in a good way. What I love about making these videos is that I can finally put like words to what I feel in a lot of these situations, and I think that we can all relate in the same way. So because I have a large following on social media, specifically on my hairstyling page, that is where a lot of those people tend to find me. So I have deactivated and deleted and remade new social media pages plenty of times. And especially my personal pages. Instagram, TikTok, those kind of pages have so many, like, it's too open for me. Even when you have a private page, right? Like, it just feels a little too open for me. So I've noticed that I don't always keep those pages up. I always end up deleting it or what have you, especially when there are like potential clients or clients that I'm not really close with that end up finding my personal page. Like, it literally does feel like you're being watched, right? And so thank God for Instagram's like unfollow feature. I really appreciate that. But I say that to say that there are people that I either haven't been friends with since like I was a child, or that I haven't spoken to in like over a decade, right? And they'll find me on social media. And the funny thing is sometimes they don't even say anything. Like, they'll just follow me. And it's like, okay, so in all of this time that you've known I've existed, you've never came to get your hair done. when I do post my children, I literally only post them like once I do their hair. So it's like, why are you here? What are you here for? What are you looking for? Or you have those like family members that you've fallen out with, right? And they know like there's no chance for reconciliation or nothing. And what do? They're watching you. Like, I have a family member that's literally like one of my biggest haters. But on social media, baby, y'all would think that that was like my biggest supporter. I've had ex-friends do me like that, where, you know, everybody and their mama know that they got a problem with me, except for me, right? But all on social media, y'all looking like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh, this, and this. I talked about it I think in my friends who secretly like hate you video. I had a friend that I was like friends with, and I'm using the term loosely. Y'all can't see my air quotes, but I had a friend that I had been friends with since I was like 11 or 12, right? And I realized that she was only my friend because at the time I did not have like, you know, the best self-esteem or the highest like self-worth about myself. And as I got older and I started to come into myself, you know, she wasn't like, she didn't want to be my friend like that. But I would notice that every couple of years she kind of pop up. And so even recently, like we're 34 now. Even recently she popped up and was like, oh, let me find out XYZ, whatever. And I just gave her, you know, like a very polite, just, hey girl, hey, thank you so much. And I was done. There was nothing else to say, right? But she literally was in like my views, like my stories, my everything for like 2 weeks before she just fell off and realized like, okay, ain't nothing happening here. I had another, I'm using air quotes again, another quote unquote friend. I was in this really toxic relationship. And at the time, me and her were friends. And I remember I went through so much with this man that like I had got to the point where I just like shut down. Like I wasn't on socials a lot. I kind of like ducked off to myself. It just was a mess. It was a mess. And I'll never forget, like, once I got quiet about my situation, I remember her texting me talking about, hey, sis, I have a question. And I'm like, oh, what's up? I have an answer, thinking that she's hitting me about hair. And she was like, oh, well, how are you and such doing? You don't really talk about him anymore. And I was like, we're fine. But it was just weird of you to ask. Like, it wasn't like you were saying, like, hey, you know, the last time I talked to you, I were going through things. I've been praying for you. Is everything okay? Like, I'm hoping things are better for you now. It was none of that. It was just flat out like, you know, what's going on with y'all? Like, and then I had a mutual friend with that friend that every time me and him fell out, me and her were like closer. It's like, oh, she had all the time in the world for me, right? But then when me and him would like, we'd be on good terms, she'd be nowhere to be found. I also had a friend, using air quotes, this was supposed to be a best friend. And I realized like she literally was only around to be able to go and tell my business to other people. Like she was friends with this girl that didn't like me. Me and the girl didn't know each other like that. I think I did the girl's hair one time. And I still believe to this day that she just didn't like me because she was friends with my oldest son's father. And I don't know, whatever. But she, like, I never forget, like, they got into it. And the girl was just like, yeah, like, don't act like you're her friend when I know all of the things I know about her because of you, pretty much. And over the years, even after that situation, it was like, y'all ever, like, have somebody around you that you realize can't move unless you move? So, for instance, like, with me being a hairstylist, right, it's like, if I made a certain type of video, you had to make that same type of video. When I made a hair oil, you had to make a hair oil. When, if I did like a video of me doing a ponytail, now you gotta post your video of a ponytail. Like, it's little stuff like that. And that's one thing that I still to this day notice with having a hair page. Like, granted, yes, all of us do the same thing, obviously, right? But there's certain people where you can tell it's intentional. Like, a big chunk of my content on my hair page is me, like, as far as my own personal content, it's me like showing people how I style my hair having alopecia, right? And explaining to people, like, this is what happened to me, this is how I lost my hair, etc., right? And there is this one girl, I used to go to school with her. It's this one girl where literally, like, if I post, watch me do this quick weave bob, y'all, literally, like, It's 6 hours later, it's watch me do this quick weave bob. And it's like, girl, half the stuff that you can do on a full head of hair, I can't do on my head of hair. So my content is based around, me working with my androgenic alopecia. So it's just like, I remember sending it to my best friend, like, am I tripping? And she was like, nah. She was like, like, they say that imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but it's not flattering. It's annoying. You know what I mean? So it's definitely been that. And it's even more difficult, I think, in the age of social media, because back in like our mamas and grandmamas days, right? The only thing they could do was like gossip on the phone. And it was like off of what they heard or what the person told them. Nowadays, people are watching your social media to see what you're doing. And the sad part about it is, there's some people that we like to like watch, right? Because they're just very captivating or they're charismatic. Like, that's why people like certain influencers and things like that. But there are really people in your life that are watching to see what you do, praying that it doesn't work. I told the story before about how, like, there's people that will dim your, like, no one can dim your light unless you allow them to, but they'll try, right? So I talked about how I had a family member that I used to look up to. And it took me literally until I was about 28, 29, I was pregnant with my second child, to realize that you were watching me because you were secretly hoping that I never became what you knew I could become. And what they would do is, they were never like degrading per se. They were never like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. But what they would do is they would sow that seed of confusion. So, for instance, I could be sitting there in the middle of the floor with a mirror doing my hair, right? It could be the same hairstyle I've done 85 times. And that person would be in the room and they'd be like, are you sure you know what you're doing? And I'd be like, well, yeah, I've been doing this for a while. Yeah, but like, I just want to make sure because, I don't know how to do X, Y, Z. I don't know how to fix this in the event that you mess it up. And it's just like, where did that come from? Where did you get that from? You know what I mean? And so I have so many of these stories, like, oh my God. And then what happens, you guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but when you call them out on it, like if you ever just kind of catch them being weird and you call them out on it, they will literally flip that shit on you as if you've done something to them. So I'll never forget, it was this girl. She used to braid my beehive for me back in the day. And I'm not exactly sure what happened with her or what transpired. I honestly feel like once I figured out like what type of time she was on, it angered her demons. And so she couldn't hide it anymore. So I'll never forget, like, the first inkling that it was funk pretty much was like, I had a homegirl that did my hair for me. And this is when everybody started doing like the oversized, like the jumbo lemonade braids. And so she had did mine for me and she did them in blue. And my hair is like naturally fine. So I remember posting it and I was so happy about it. I thought it was so cute, right? And she posted immediately after I posted my picture. She was like, yeah, those lemonade braids, those big lemonade braids ain't cute on people with thin hair. And I'm like, okay. Like, and I don't care what nobody says. You know when certain energies is directed at you. People can tell you, oh, I wasn't talking about you. People can tell you, oh, if the shoe fits. No, baby. I know when you're speaking on me. Especially if you couldn't even wait until, like, you could have said that shit a day later. You waited until I posted the picture. And it was like, okay, so were you just mad because you didn't do it? Like, what's really the issue? You know what I mean? And so once she did that, I remember like immediately like unfriending her or whatever on Facebook. But I didn't realize that she was following me on Instagram. And she was following me from not only her hair page, but her personal page too. And I honestly think, y'all, if I'm not mistaken, I think she still follows me from her hair page on social media. So I'm going to tell you how it happened. So I'll never forget, I can't remember what exactly we were talking about, like what I was speaking about. But I remember posting, it was either in my story or it was on my timeline, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But let's just say that I had posted something obviously in regards to hair, and she like literally was like in the comments trying to argue me down about it. And I was just like, okay, so it works for you and yours, and that's fine, but I'm speaking on me and mine right now, right? And so she sends me like, she gets in the DM and like she's trying to like plead her case, and I'm just not responding to it because it's just like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, my opinion is my opinion, yours is yours. Like, why are you trying to argue me down about my opinion on my page? Like, if you feel different, post different on your shit. Like, I don't understand. So I remember she called herself trying to show me something in regards to her hair, but the picture that she sent me was like, it was her, but it was her middle finger. And it was so funny because I say this all the time. Yes, we are living in human bodies, but spirits know other spirits. That is why when you come across certain people, you have energetic boundaries. People know who and who not to play with spiritually. That's why sometimes somebody will walk in a room and you be like, I'm not feeling her like that. I'm telling you. And so when she sent that, I was just like, okay, what the fuck was that for? Like, it threw me off. So I'll never forget, like, I didn't even respond to it. I just kind of looked at it and was like, yeah, you just showed yourself. I literally remember saying that to myself, right? And then maybe about a minute or two later, she unsent the picture. Girl, I already saw it. And I just ended up blocking her. But it's funny because there are people that literally will hang on to your every word and they know that they don't like you. Like, I've had in-laws in the past like that. I've had family members like that, where what I say, like, you literally can't wait to see what I have to say or what I'm gonna do next. But you're secretly dogging me out the whole time. And like I said, I'm just so grateful to have a word for it now. You know what I mean? Because we all have known and felt these things. But I feel like people like that, they do such a good job of gaslighting you that you'll literally be over here thinking that you're crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and for myself, it's hard sometimes because I'm a Gemini. I'm very talkative once I'm comfortable. Like, I'm an introvert. When I'm outside, unless I'm like faded or something, I'm not really talkative like that. But once I'm comfortable, I love to talk to people. And so I've had to really, really, really pray and ask God for discernment, because I've been in so many situations, especially with clients. Like, once they not feeling me no more, or they can't get that appointment that they wanted, or whatever the case is, those things that I've told them, they've thrown back in my face. So I tell people, I said it in another video, but my favorite thing to do now is lie. And the reason why I don't open up like that anymore is because, like I said, I like to talk. And sometimes you'll get really comfortable with people, especially in the field that I'm in, because I actually am a hairstylist that likes to converse with my clients. But when you have those kind of people, you'll always be able to notice them because they'll ask you hella personal questions and they fire them off so fast that sometimes it's hard to catch. Like, it's hard to catch yourself. So what I started to do now is when people will ask me something and it just even sounds like it's a little personal, I go, huh? And I do that because it kind of buys me time. So now when you ask the question, now you have to slow down and re-ask me that question. But I've already had it figured out in my head that you're probably asking me something that I don't want to answer anyway. So I lie. Or I lie by omission. So I'll have people that might ask me, for instance, like, one of my pet peeves with clients is when they ask me what schools my children go to, because I just don't even understand why you need to know that, right? And so they'll ask me and I go, huh? Oh, what school does, your such and such go to? And I'm like, oh, somewhere down the street. Or I'll lie and tell them it's like they still going to some school in the city that we used to live in. Because why is that information important to you? Like, the people that need to know where my children go to school, they know they're an emergency contact. I'll never ask you to go get them. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I loved that one of the ladies said in the video was, people who like you the least will watch you the most. And oh my damn, that could not be, oh my God, it couldn't be more true. The people that, like, bro, there's so many people that have shown their asses in the past. And there's a lot of stuff I don't speak on because I don't feel like I have to defend myself. Like, that's one thing my daddy always taught me. You know how you move. You know the kind of person that you are. He's always told me, like, my favorite line that he used to always give me was, a good person is going to always be a good person. A good woman is going to always be a good woman. You don't have to go on this whole campaign defending your character. Your character speaks for itself. And there's going to be people that's going to try to drag your name through the mud, but the people that truly know you are going to be like, nah, that don't sound like her. Like, you got to come with receipts because that don't sound like her. So defending myself is something that I don't do. But it's funny because it's those people. I had a friend, or so I thought, because we're using air quotes again, that y'all, I'd have did anything in the world for this girl. And the minute that like my content and things like that start picking up, you know, her demons couldn't take it no more. And she finally got to a point where she had to really let me know how she truly felt about me. And even in the days after that, like I tried to give her grace, and I tried to just let it be what it's gonna be and hope that it like boiled over so we could talk about it later. And what ended up happening was the disrespect just got too much. It was too many subs and too much stuff like that for me. And then I ended up just blocking her on everything. And then when she could no longer watch me and get to me, she reached out to my mom trying to play victim. And that's another thing too, is when they can't get to you directly, they will go through people that know you. Like my best friend literally just went through a situation where there was someone in the group that we thought was a friend, and come to find out they weren't. And then when she asked God to show her, and we always talk about this, but baby, when you pray that prayer, when you pray for God to reveal your enemies, get ready to clutch them pearls, because God gonna hit you in the chest. And it's rarely ever people that you don't know. It's usually people that you know. And it's so funny because my best friend called it out like months ago. We were talking about this months ago. And it finally came to a head a few days ago. And come to find out, y'all, it was like a whole group of folks conspiring against her and her husband. And they say the enemy comes in to kill, steal, and destroy. This is why I always say, come on now, the devil ain't gonna send no complete stranger. And if the devil do send a complete stranger, they're going to send somebody that feels safe to you, that you end up developing a friendship with, and then they're going to drop your ass like a bad habit. Why? Because we don't care enough about strangers to let them hurt our feelings. But we do care about our aunties and our cousins and our friends and our homeboys and whatever else, right? So y'all get in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Give me your story times. I would love to hear them. I always say this is a safe space. I'm definitely in the business of validating feelings around here. I do care. So that is all I have for you all today. I will see y'all in the next video, and I pray you guys all have a wonderful day. Bye.